Your Excellency, President Kufuor, distinguished guests, I'm honored to join the Center this morning to examine some of the important issues surrounding the compact between Ghana and the Millennium Challenge Corporation. Your leadership, President Kufuor, your outstanding leadership, was instrumental in bringing us to this important milestone in the relationship between our two countries, and I'm very grateful for that. Ambassadors Poku and Bridgewater, thank you for your invaluable support in developing this agreement and for your ongoing commitment to the compact as we proceed through implementation. Permit me also to recognize the dedication of the Ghanaian transaction team led by Minister Ndoum and members of the MCC team who have worked so hard to develop an ambitious program that will benefit over 1 million Ghanaians. Helping the world's poor to escape the grip of poverty is one of the greatest challenges of the 20th century. As we become bolder in our fight against global poverty, economic growth must be at the very heart of a sustainable development strategy. The MCC was established in 2004 as a new way to meet this challenge by encouraging nations to establish policies that reduce poverty and promote economic growth. With yesterday's signing of the $547 million MCC Ghana Compact, the MCC has now concluded 9 large-scale development projects with worth more than $2 billion. MCC's innovative approach to foreign assistance is expressed in our 3 core operating principles. First, the Millennium Challenge Corporation is performance-based. We believe that policies matter. We annually assemble profiles of the world's poorest countries based on 16 indicators from independent, non-U.S. government sources to measure how these governments perform in political and economic and social categories. We call these political, economic, and social categories ruling justly, investing in people, and economic freedom. Our second core principle is country ownership. Taking an approach, much like an investor, rather than a donor, MCC puts the onus on the countries to come up with its own development strategy. It is the country, not the MCC, which must identify its barriers to poverty reduction and economic growth. Our third MCC core principle is that we are results-oriented. From the outset, we insist that each country outline what they believe our joint efforts will achieve. We integrate monitoring and evaluation plans into our programs because we believe that it's not too much to ask that aid invested by the U.S. taxpayer should yield results. The MCC is not for everyone. Governments that are corrupt, that tolerate poor governance, and stifle economic freedom will not receive our assistance. Countries in our program that fail to maintain passing scores on the indicators and that do not demonstrate the political will and commitment to take the necessary steps should indicator performance fall below the standard will risk being suspended. Implementing this approach is challenging, and it does take time, but it's absolutely essential for our MCC recipient countries to be the drivers of their own success. What we have seen is that their willingness to take on the job usually transforms into their capability to do it. The Millennium Challenge Compact with Ghana is a great example of how a bold but practical vision will create an opportunity to transform lives. Through this program, Ghanaians are building capacity within their own country to access and participate more fully in the global market. This investment in Ghana is designed to lift more than 230,000 poor Ghanaians out of extreme poverty and will benefit over 1 million people in total. As many of you know, agriculture is the backbone of Ghana's economy, making up 40% of the country's GDP and employing almost 70% of the workforce. The people of Ghana have developed a program that seeks to improve the lives of the rural poor by raising farmer incomes through private sector-led agribusiness development. And because women make up 70% of the agricultural workers, the compact will particularly enhance their quality of life. The 5-year, $547 million compact is the largest single grant we have signed to date. The agreement funds 3 integrated projects: agricultural development, transportation, and rural development. And within these 3 integrated projects, initiatives such as the following are included: seasonal and term credit to farmers, investment in irrigation, investments in food storage and processing, and services to facilitate land transactions, investments in road construction projects that complement the agricultural program by reducing transportation costs for farmers and assisting the transport of crops to market. And lastly, investment in schools, investment in water and sanitation, and the provision of electricity to homes and businesses in rural areas. The ultimate success of the Ghana Compact, and for that matter for the MCC as a whole, will not be measured by the number of dollars which we spend, but by the changes we can leverage with our dollars to stimulate sustainable trade and investment that we hope will follow our programs. If our goal is to help countries, including Ghana, to graduate from poverty, and this graduation cannot be accomplished through perpetual foreign aid, then MCC and other assistance providers must provide an exit strategy. We at MCC will know when we have been successful and when we are no longer necessary, because our aid investments have been replaced by private flows, both foreign and domestic. While real growth, development, and poverty reduction must be homegrown, outside support can be effective when it's targeted to those countries most committed to improving themselves. Foreign assistance, such as the MCC grant to Ghana, are a catalyst for countries to get their own houses in order so that foreign investment and private sector-led economic activity takes hold and drives wealth creation, particularly to the poorest segments of society. We are confident that the MCC can assist those countries with the political will and good governance to reduce poverty and achieve sustainable economic growth. We are confident that the MCC Ghana Compact will be a success, and we are proud to be engaged with President Kufuor and the people of Ghana in this great endeavor.
The President of the CSIS, Mr. John Hamre, Ambassador Danilovic of Millennium Challenge Corporation, Honorable Ministers, corporate leaders, and distinguished members of the Center, and ladies and gentlemen, I'm highly honored to be here today to take part in this panel discussion. I believe this is what it is. Your organization is famed for its membership of great minds and think tanks who together accept as your mission to provide strategic insights and practical policy solutions to decision makers concerned with global security and the changing dynamics of international relations worldwide. Little wonder, therefore, that over the years, your organization has grown to become one of your nation's preeminent public institutions on U.S. and international security. The compact we signed yesterday has further enhanced the already cordial relations between Ghana and the United States. The Millennium Challenge account is a new form of development assistance, the pragmatism and transparency of which I believe will capture the imagination of both the developing and the developed worlds. This bold initiative has the potential to transform the lives of men, women, and children in developing nations across the globe into a brighter and more prosperous future. The compact represents the most significant, creative, and dynamic initiative in development financing and economic partnerships in current times. It also marks an unprecedented effort to actualize the link between development assistance and the presence of credible and transparent environment for policy implementation. Clearly, this kind of development financing allows countries to own and drive their economic programs. It indeed holds great promise for a new paradigm of global economic assistance and partnership, as it virtually rewrites the rules of development financing. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, Ghana has been selected thrice in succession as an eligible country for the Millennium Challenge account. I personally feel very proud of this achievement, as it empowers as it bears eloquent testimony to the good governance practiced by my administration. We in Ghana are ready and willing to seize this unique opportunity to build lasting human and institutional capacities within our country to sustain growth and development for great numbers of our population, to enable them build a future of hope for themselves and their children. Ghana's compact proposal has aptly been characterized as ambitious and complex. It is, by its very nature, a product of the nation's basic development policy, titled the Ghana Poverty Reduction Strategy, in short GPRS, which the government developed about 3 years ago. And this was done through a broad consultative process among the community at large and institutions. The GPRS has identified as one of the key strategies for poverty reduction increased production and employment in the agricultural sector. Specifically, the strategy entails, among others, modernizing agricultural practices so as to increase the production of crops for both the domestic and export markets. Agro-processing, as well as value addition and reform of the land tenure system, are also integral to this policy. Provision of transportation and social services like education, healthcare delivery, potable water, electricity, and banking services in the rural areas are deemed critical infrastructure for the success of the strategy. It is this strategy that the government of Ghana and the U.S. Millennium Challenge Corporation have refined into the compact that was signed yesterday. It is envisaged that the compact will contribute to the accelerated growth of our economy and consequently reduce the national incidence of poverty by 5% annually over a 10-year period. Indeed, we envision that a successful program has the potential to create directly 700,000 jobs and indirectly 1.3 million more jobs over the next 5 years. I wish to conclude by recognizing the importance of the role which the Millennium Challenge Corporation, the machinery set up by the U.S. government to implement its new and bold policy of dispensing development assistance, played in making yesterday's compact signing ceremony a reality. Under the efficient and effective leadership of its Chief Executive Officer, Ambassador John Danilovich, the MCC and its Ghanaian counterpart team worked in partnership to overcome tremendous challenges to complete the compact proposals. Mr. President, I wish to appeal to your center to help make the partnership a sustainable one through inputting regular reviews at different stages of the implementation of the compact to facilitate the agricultural transformation we seek in Ghana. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, with these opening remarks, let me once again thank you for the opportunity given me to speak on this occasion and hope that the ensuing panel discussion will be fruitful and instructive. Thank you for your attention.
Mr. President, Secretary Kerry, Mr. Minister, and friends of Ghana, I am delighted to welcome you here for the signing of Ghana's $498 million compact with the U.S. government's Millennium Challenge Corporation. This agreement represents a major milestone in the U.S.-Ghanaian partnership, and I want to thank both teams from Ghana and from MCC who worked tirelessly to develop this investment aimed at overcoming one of Ghana's key constraints to growth. The compact we signed today takes a system-wide approach to transforming Ghana's power sector. It invests in projects focused on distribution to make Ghana's energy sector financially viable and capable of attracting private investment. And it funds initiatives supporting greater energy efficiency and cleaner renewable energy. These investments will provide Ghanaian homes, schools, and hospitals with access to the reliable electricity they need to thrive. And by encouraging entrepreneurship and supporting the productivity of Ghanaian businesses, these investments will help generate growth. At $498 million, the compact we signed today represents the largest U.S. government transaction to date under the Obama administration's Power Africa initiative. In addition, we estimate this $498 million will catalyze at least $4 billion in private investment and activities from U.S. and other businesses in Ghana's energy sector over the coming years. We also think this compact can serve as a powerful anchor and a platform for overall U.S. assistance and engagement aimed at driving growth in Ghana and throughout West Africa. In Ghana, the Millennium Challenge Corporation has chosen a partner who is fully committed to good governance. I applaud the Mahama administration for its courage and steady conviction to take on bold reforms that will lead to growth and opportunity for millions. As part of this compact, Ghana has made and will continue to make critical policy and regulatory reforms in the power sector. These reforms will sustain our efforts and will give global, American, and Ghanaian businesses greater confidence to invest. As a reformer, Ghana is truly a shining example and a model of an effective partner for MCC and for the U.S. government. So today is a win-win for the people of Ghana and the people of the United States. I want to congratulate all who made this partnership possible and who will work very hard now to realize its promise.
Senator Kerry, Secretary of State, honorable members of Senate and Congress, ministers and secretaries, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very honored to be present here today on this occasion of the signing of a new Millennium Challenge Compact between the governments of Ghana and the United States of America. Indeed, it seems like just yesterday when our two governments successfully executed and implemented our first compact. The first compact, by all measures, brought a transformational change in the agricultural landscape of Ghana. It also represented a refreshingly new strategy for the transformation of agriculture in Ghana. It also targeted sustainable economic growth and poverty reduction among the majority of rural dwellers who rely on agriculture for their livelihood by focusing on transport, infrastructure, and rural development. The achievements and success of the first compact include 66,930 farmers received training in commercial agricultural practices, enhancing their productivity and skills. 4 irrigation schemes were rehabilitated, providing irrigation to 2,435 hectares of agricultural farmlands. 20 post-harvest facilities were constructed, providing storage so crops would not get spoiled in the field. Thousands of farmers were provided with agricultural credit worth $23.1 million. Many roads, including the now famous George Bush Highway, were constructed, and 44 school blocks were fully rehabilitated, while 206 new school blocks were constructed, totaling 250. All rural banks in Ghana and their agencies were interconnected and computerized and automated, provided with generators, computers, and wide area networks. It's extremely gratifying to note that on the heels of the first compact, which came to closure on June 30th, 2012, Ghana was selected to benefit from a second compact that specifically targets the energy sector. No one can deny the fact that energy is the engine of growth that has propelled many of the world's leading economies into wealth and prosperity. Ghana is currently experiencing challenges with energy availability, sufficiency, and reliability, and so it was only logical that this new compact would focus on the energy sector. The objectives of this new compact is to reduce poverty through economic growth in Ghana with direct interventions in the energy sector. This will not only enhance our own efforts at improving the sector, but would hopefully accelerate it. It's not been an easy road because over the past 2 years, our agencies and their USA counterparts have focused attention on addressing this critical constraint to economic growth in Ghana through a series of protocols, exchanges, and meetings. Indeed, initiatives such as the Partnership for Growth, the FIRST Compact, and Power Africa have also provided increased access and opportunity to deepen collaboration with 12 specialized agencies of the U.S. government. And these are the USAID, USTDA, the MCC, US 𝐋𝐨𝐬𝐭, OPIC, U.S. African Development Foundation, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, Department of Energy, Commerce, Treasury, Agriculture, and Department of State. So many of them. This new compact will bring cutting-edge U.S. technology and solutions to expand access to affordable, sustainable electric power. Thanks to the efforts of the above agencies and their Ghanaian counterparts who have collectively and assiduously worked hard to prepare this compact, we are here to sign the compact today. Today, therefore, marks another historic moment in the bilateral relationship between the United States of America and Ghana, because we see Ghana rising a little higher to achieve its overarching policy goals for the energy sector. Ghana's total energy supply has to grow significantly if we are to achieve the developmental goals we've set ourselves. The main challenge is how to increase the energy supply and also expand the energy infrastructure in the country in a way that is sustainable. The power subsector needs to increase installed power generation capacity quickly from the current about 2,800 megawatts today to 5,000 megawatts, while at the same time increasing access to electricity from the current 76% to universal access, and all this hopefully by the end of the implementation of the compact. We have also been considering how to attract investments to build the necessary infrastructure for the generation, transmission, and distribution of electricity throughout our country. This investment is key to ensuring the sustainable, efficient development of Ghana's energy sector. Our energy policy focuses on institutional and human resource capacity building, as well as regulatory reforms required to create a competitive electricity market. Creating the right environment for private-public partnerships in the development of new power plants is essential to the growth of the power sector. The biggest obstacle to achieving this objective is the issue of cost recovery, a challenge that our policy tries to directly address. Government is keen to and has already initiated actions towards reforms to attract more private sector participation in the energy and power sectors. These include a transparent framework for the development and management of natural gas resources, movement towards a least cost transparent process of competitive bidding for power generation, and the allocation and pricing of legacy hydropower. We must also achieve an integrated resource and resiliency planning among the generation, transmission, and distribution sectors, transition to a wholesale electricity market, distribution and commercial loss reduction, promotion of energy efficiency and demand-side management, and support for the expansion of renewable energy projects. Other pressing near-term action is to improve the creditworthiness of the Electricity Company of Ghana and the Northern Electricity Distribution Company, NEDCO, the nation's off-takers and distributors of electric power. I note with satisfaction the numerous ongoing endeavors between the government of Ghana and the agencies of the United States government, and I hope the compact we execute shortly will pave the way for greater engagement in even more areas with other U.S. state agencies. I wish to take this opportunity to reiterate the full support and commitment of the government of Ghana to the Partnership for Growth, the Joint Country Action Plan, Power Africa initiatives, and especially this new compact. And so, on behalf of the people of Ghana, I wish to express our immense gratitude to the government of the United States of America and the people of America for partnering with Ghana through these laudable initiatives. I thank you, and God bless Ghana. God bless the United States of America.
Through the $316 million MCC Ghana Power Compact, the corporation partnered with the government of Ghana to accelerate growth and reduce poverty by investing in reliable and affordable electricity to Ghanaian businesses, institutions and households. As part of the deal, the government of Ghana was required to allow private participation to enhance efficiency.
The Ghana side has detected that there are a number of irregularities with the payment guarantee as submitted by PDS. And in accordance with the terms and the spirit of the agreement, the Ghana side has opted to suspend and fully inquire into these detected anomalies and then determine the next course of action. It's been going on for some months now, and they are of the view that they are at the stage where they have to suspend to protect the assets and the interest of the Republic, even as they go through a full-scale inquiry and a final determination of what needs to be done. Well, it is a matter that is being fully investigated now, so I won't want to preempt that investigation. Suffice to say that the guarantees that were issued to, may I say, underwrite the risk that Ghana takes in handing over our assets for PDS to manage, and also giving PDS the right to collect all the cash and hold and later transmit same to ECG for distribution, have been found to have some major defects. And those major defects are now the subject of this inquiry to determine the nature of those defects. Are they inadvertent defects that can be corrected? Are they deliberate, substantial defects that therefore invalidate them? Those are determinations that now need to be made as part of this inquiry to determine the next line of action.
Very interesting to hear the word fraud in such a big contract like this, a contract that involves over $500 million of the American state government's money to Ghana. Now, some have questioned the due diligence that went into this contract. You think they have a case?
Oh, yes, of course. Don't forget, and it's the due diligence that have established this by government. The due diligence is an ongoing process. Don't forget there are condition subsequent and condition precedent to this contract. And so the due diligence process is an ongoing process, and that is where we have been able to establish this element of fraud, of course, which is yet to be validated. But whilst we wait for the validation process, government have taken this action to secure the assets.
The MCC is not for everyone. Governments that are corrupt, that tolerate poor governance, and stifle economic freedom will not receive our assistance. Countries in our program that fail to maintain passing scores on the indicators and that do not demonstrate the political will and commitment to take the necessary steps should indicator performance fall below the standard will risk being suspended.